I've been influenced by many people since I got involved in grassroots politics about 3 or 4 years ago. And I want to bring one of them up here now to talk to you. Because when she was born, she was not an American citizen. She's actually from Canada. But I know of no person in Wake County that's any more active, supportive, dedicated to our Constitution and our form of government here in North Carolina and in the United States as the chairman of the Wake County Republican Party, Miss Donna Williams.
Good afternoon. Hello. All right, the crowd is growing. Yay! Thank you, Dave, for putting this together today. And thank you to all of you for being out here. I've been sitting here on Facebook popping out pictures. Come down, come down. So, power of the social media. Well, my name is Donna Williams, and I, like you, am very, very proud to be an American. And yes, I was born in Canada. My parents, my father came from Scotland. Pardon me?
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Eh? My dad came from Scotland, and my mother was born in Canada. And when I was a little girl, my parents decided to leave Canada, come to the United States, for one simple reason. They wanted a better life for our family. And when I was 15 years old, I became a U.S. citizen. And I remember, thank you. I remember going to the courthouse, well, going to take classes first, and then that day when we became citizens, going to that courthouse. And I still have the documentation from it. And I look at it every once in a while, and especially since I've gotten involved in politics. And it means a lot more to me today than it did when I was 15, I will say that. So the technical term is I'm what you call a naturalized citizen, just for your information. But from that point, as the years rolled by and I went to school and I became a nurse and got married and had children, life became busy. And it was not until 5 years ago, this past Sunday, that I got involved in politics. Or shall I say, did anything more than vote. Up to that point, I always did vote, but I would always look at my husband and say, okay, honey, who are we voting for? I could not have told you anything about anybody. I was busy raising a family, had a business from our home. I was busy, and you know what? I think there's a whole lot of Americans out there that's exactly where they're at. And so, personally, I don't get frustrated with people that are not aware, because I can easily think back to just a little more than 5 years ago. What happened in my life that changed me? It was September 15th, 2008. It was a Monday morning, and we have 4 children. Our youngest child at the time was a Marine, and he was on a plane going to Iraq. And it was a pretty rough day for me. And so I was in my bathroom, and I was crying, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I really don't even know what the heck I was thinking. But God took control of the situation. And God, using me, had me speak to myself. And the words that came out of my mouth were, look what your baby is doing for our country. What are you doing? And my answer was nothing. Nothing. I wasn't doing anything for our country. And so that changed. It all changed that day. It was later that afternoon that I said, all right, I got to do something. I got involved as a volunteer making phone calls. It was prior to the 2008 presidential election. I just became alive through it. And within about 30 days, my husband said to me, for the last 3 years, you've not been happy in business. Although you've been making awesome money and we've enjoyed spending it, you're just alive now. And he said, if you asked my opinion, I would tell you, shut your business down. And so I did. I didn't even say, are you kidding? I just said, yep, that's exactly what I need to do. And from that point, I just threw myself in. I never counted the hours, but I would guess it was a minimum of 12 hours a day. It's all I've done now. And to me, thank you, but it's not about me. My message here today is about all of us and how we can reach out and touch other people. From that point, my intention number one was to get educated, because I realized that I wasn't. And through that process, I thought, you know what, this is something that we all need to understand. So my mission became to reach out to other people to get other people hopefully educated, and then through that help them to open up their eyes. And so I have become, I guess you might want to say, I've recruited a whole lot of folks in Wake County to get involved. And what I've always said to people, it doesn't matter if you can do a little bit or a whole heck of a lot. Whatever you can do does make a difference. As Dave just said, whether it's just making phone calls for one day for a candidate, it does help. And so today, as we celebrate the signing of our U.S. Constitution, what really dawns on me, and it's been said today, but I'll say it in my words, the sad part to me is that too many Americans do not have a clue of what our Constitution says and what it means. And if you think back to September 18th, 1787, this was, it's a story that is told. Ben Franklin is leaving Independence Hall at the end of the Constitutional Convention. And he's confronted by a woman who asks, "Well, doctor, what have we got? A republic or a monarchy?" And he looked at her and said, "A republic, madam, if we can keep it." And you know, I get chills as I say those words right this very second, because that truly, to me, is what is going on in this country right now. And so that is the point that we all have to really hold dear in our heart. It is, we must keep it. We must. We just, I can't imagine if we don't. So for all of you who are here, you know, every single moment of your days, anything that you can do to reach out and touch other people, I know you all do it, but let's start getting other people to do it, because it's got to be like a mushroom effect. And just a few other things to think about. Why is it that we judge all others by their actions, yet we ask that we be judged sometimes by our good intentions? The interactions of our citizens must be governed by an overriding principle that says when persuasion fails and the other side cannot be convinced of the merits of our position, that we as Americans must, in the end, without malice, agree to disagree. Today, the debate is loud, shrill, and full of emotion. There are those who cry out about their rights, yet they refuse to understand their rights stop someplace and our rights begin. There are those who mistakenly interpret entitlements and benefits as rights. Many do not care that these benefits come at the unwilling expense of others. For many, indifference grips their minds and saps their willingness to understand the basic principles upon which our country was founded. Ben Franklin's words again, "A republic, madam, if you can keep it." Perhaps on this Constitution Day, we should reaffirm the simple truth, which is, for every right that we enjoy, there is a correlating duty, which we as citizens of a free society are honor-bound to carry out. Each of us must contribute to our society in whatever way possible, adding value to the whole. There is a book, The 5,000-Year Leap. Hopefully some of you have read it. In it, I pulled it out this morning as I was preparing for today. In it, there are 20 duties of citizens listed in the book. And let me just read a few of them to you. The duty to honor the supremacy of the Creator and His laws. The duty not to take the life of another, except in self-defense. The duty not to steal or destroy the property of another. The duty to be honest. The duty to become economically self-sufficient. The duty to perform civic responsibilities, vote, assist public officials, serve in official capacities when called upon, stay informed on public issues, and volunteer where needed. Doesn't that just fit exactly what we are doing? So to me, this just reaffirms to me that we, each of us, have to try our best to reach out to other folks and help open up their minds. We have a Statue of Liberty in New York, not a statue of equal outcome. Like Ben Franklin said, the Constitution only gives people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself. Finally, as each of us chases after our own happiness, we pursue what has been called the American dream. And that, my friends, is what makes Americans exceptional and this country great. Thank you.